Hey everybody, I'm popping on for a little bit of a live stream to chat a little bit about how how does somebody like me, how do we shed our cult thinking when it comes to self-care? And that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately and dealing with a lot lately because as you guys know, I lost my partner of 11 years a couple of months ago. I left Scientology 14 years ago. There's just been, just a ton of change, just a lot of change, but change for the better in terms of leaving Scientology. Don't get me wrong. Leaving Scientology was a really good thing. That's a good thing. But it got me thinking this last weekend about, how, what does self-care look like when you've never really thought about it or it was never a priority? I'm curious. I want to hear from you guys. Did you grow up, was self-care a thing? I mean, like, were you encouraged by your parents or your peers? I genuinely want to know because I'm curious about that. We know growing up in Scientology, it was never about me. It's never about the individual. It is about the group. It is about protecting the group and taking care of the group, and the group being Scientology. So how do you figure out how you're supposed to care for yourself, when you never really did that? So Remart says nope, and I am a never in. Okay, so you weren't raised with self-care either then as a priority, which I think is something that's more common than I thought. I grew up in the world of Scientology. So a lot of these things, I'm not sure if it's Scientology or it's just a people thing. Jersey Jan says, was definitely not something that was acknowledged, let alone encouraged. Okay, interesting. Mama Opal says, no, it was not a thing for us. Too many kids in our household to think about ourselves. Interesting. Okay. TN Jenny, most of us Gen X people are just learning about self-care. I think you're right. And I definitely fall into that category of being a Gen Xer. I think you're right there. This last weekend, it was a really rough weekend. I mean, let's be honest, it was a rough week for me. Friday was my 11th anniversary, or would have been my anniversary with Tony. And that was so hard. It was so much harder than I thought it would be. And I didn't think it would be harder the day before. I always think, you know what, I could schedule my grief. So I'm gonna do a light load on Friday because it's my anniversary and blah blah blah. And I ended up just losing it just the day before and having a hard time that day and the whole weekend, frankly. Mayor's girl, I've been big on self-care, but then I don't have a husband or kids. It's always all about me, LOL. Yeah, that says a lot. That's a lot of it when you have kids. Arkansas Flamingo, aloha dear, you'll figure this out. I had therapy in my 30s, went to a seminar, volunteered for the monthly meetings for years until it finally stuck, working on it at 66. I think it's something, I'm getting the idea that you just don't snap your fingers and now I do all of the self-care that I need. It just doesn't happen like that. I'm learning that it doesn't happen like that because growing up in Scientology was always this kind of belief that, well, there's instantaneous change, or you have like this much time to go from doing it wrong to doing it correctly. There's no, there's no time. You're not allowed time. Time is a luxury and you're just not allowed time, especially time for something like self-care. So this past weekend, Saturday was a pretty good day because I did 2 videos that day. It kept me really busy. I did the recap and then I did a video with Ono Nora. And I really enjoyed that. And when I do videos and most of the content that I do, I'm happy afterwards. It's uplifting. But it was still rough. And Sunday, I spent 9 hours on Sunday cleaning out the room I'm sitting in right now. This is where I used to do my live stream. In fact, you guys might recognize the wallpaper there was the background for my videos. And when Tony died, I locked this room up. I threw a bunch of stuff in it and I've been meaning to get to it for, well, the last 2 months since he passed away. And I got to it this weekend and it felt really good. Rem Art says, I really need to learn to put my oxygen mask on first. Yep. Real for life. I'm learning how to be comfortable. No more self-sacrifice for the better good. Okay, so real for life. Were you in Scientology? If not, this is the point. This is the realization that I'm having, is some of my issues that I've had with self-care, and by issues I mean not doing it, were driven in large ways by Scientology, but I think it also just is by nature of being human and a parent. So I think that's part of it. Oh, you were in Mormonism. Okay, I could see how that could apply too. It's a process with lots of step forward and lots back. Try to keep going when you backslide. Arkansas Flamingo, that is great. That's actually really good advice. So on Sunday, I got up. I was going to sleep in. This is how sleeping in goes for me. I plan the next day. Oh, I'm gonna sleep in. I woke up at, I think, like 7:20, which for me is sleeping in, but I wanted to sleep in more. I've always romanticized the idea of sleeping till like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And this is why on Sundays, I'm actually not going to do a recap on Sundays, so that I don't have to wake up at any certain time. I want at least one night where I can go to bed and not have to, oh my gosh, I got to make sure when I get up, right? I have to pay attention to that. So on Sunday, I completely cleaned out this room and reset it up as a bedroom, a guest room. And it was so therapeutic because I listened to the playlist that I made with Tony in the hospital when he was in the ICU this last time. We made a playlist the night before he died, and he helped pick the songs. He would just thumbs up or down it and sang, and he loved to sing. And so that's what we did, and I'm so glad we did that, and I'm so glad I made the playlist. So I listened to the playlist, and I had a very good cry. I mean, I literally cried on and off for hours. And I think that was a good thing. It felt like I just unburdened myself so much more. You know what I'm saying? It's like a tea kettle. You got to let the steam out, and then it's just not so bubbling. It won't bubble over. Hey, Miss Kim, thanks for the hearts there. So after that, at the end of the day yesterday, I realized, one, I was exhausted because it literally took me 9 hours. I was just throwing things in this room, things I didn't want to deal with. There was a lot, and I haven't dealt with all of it. I now have piles in my office. But at least, you know, the room's set up again as a guest room. So when my sister comes to sleep over, she doesn't have to lay on the floor. So I realized after that I know that self-care looks different for everybody. And when you come out of a cult like myself, or high control, or some other situation where you weren't really focused on yourself, it can be hard. It can be hard to figure out what self-care looks like. And I realized that for me, I think it's doing those things that bring me peace, things that are cathartic, like I said, like cleaning out this room. That my default is like cleaning. If I get really upset, I want to clean. If I'm sad, I want to clean. But you can just guess, my house is fairly clean because I've been upset a lot on and off. And that's okay. That my self-care doesn't have to look like somebody else's self-care, because someone might look at me, you know, cleaning and organizing and doing all this stuff and crying while doing it, and think that, well, Natalie, you should stop. You should take care of yourself. This is taking care of myself for me. And it's like doing something physical. Like I used to think I liked to cry in the shower, but doing something physical and being able to do it, I just found that to be super cathartic. Jersey Jan, where do you live? Please come to my house and clean. If you don't have cats, I just might. Maybe that's what I'll do, a part of my tour that I want to do. So in doing that, I realized it helped me, you know, express some grief, to be able to just cry so freely and loudly and have the music blaring and singing my butt off, because I was the only one here. The only judgment I got was from the dogs. Yeah, Mayor's Girl, you're right. There's no should in grief. That's what I'm realizing. There's no, you should do this. You have to do this. It's going to look different for different people. And because my background is different, then For sure it's going to be different. Like, I don't know, do any of you turn to cleaning when you get stressed or upset? Let me know in the chat. Oh, Kestrel, your cats would drive me out. Yep, totally. Totally. Hey, Josiah. Oh, you have a cat and a dog, Jersey Jan? I look forward to seeing you on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm going to get to the East Coast. Definitely. Um, hmm. So, anyways, I guess what I realize is it doesn't need to look like everybody else's, what self care looks like for them. Self care could be going and getting a massage. It could be, it's just the most simplest of things as well. Just taking some quiet time, having some, I've been better about my tea that I enjoy. God, I love tea. I don't know why I should drink it way more than I do. Um, yeah, Vanessa, you got it on the mest work. So I wondered about that too. So I'm glad that some of you who know about that are here. Mest is matter, energy, space, and time in Scientology. It's like physical things, doing things in the physical universe. Like this is a piece of mest in Scientology. So cleaning and controlling. I mean, it makes sense because when we got in trouble in Scientology, we had to do physical labor. So maybe that's part of it. Now that I'm thinking about this, that, oh, I'm upset, so I need to do something physical. But it does help me. It absolutely does. Interestingly, didn't help me so much was when I was in the cult and put on manual labor. That was something different. I guess because it wasn't my choice. Kurt says, when my dog passed, I lost it. I couldn't imagine losing a spouse. I think you're handling it great. God bless you. Thank you, Kurt. Um, it's on and off. Like I said, I was a hot mess completely yesterday, but just needed to be. And I got a lot done. This room looks great now, and it's all set up for my sister. You're right, Miss Kim. Cleaning is something you can control. Yep, that's right. Stroke of genius. This isn't a punishment. You're right. Gretchen, only cult mentality is time spent away from cult goals. Cult mentality is time spent away from cult goals is time wasted. Yeah, Mayor's Girl, not really cleaning, but changing a space like you did, even in a small way, feels new. Yes. Yeah, I think that's it. Because part of me was feeling like, am I not doing this right? Should I be? Because I got a gift certificate for a massage that someone had given me, and I've not used it yet, and I want to use it, but there's just too much cleaning. And I could really use it. So I think doing that would also be self-care. But for me, getting things in order kind of came first. Kestrel, I'm a hot mess in grief too. I'm not productive. I can't function when crying. I totally get that. I think the only reason I can is because that was my default growing up and in Scientology is when you're upset, you just need to do something physical, and throwing things around and cleaning. It just definitely helps me. I guess that's one thing that, you know, for me is like something I go back to that I think is fine. Thank you, Joseph. So after I got done with all of that, and remember, it was like days of me, crying and my anniversary and then tearing this room apart. And at the end, I felt so good. And today feels like a really good day. Um, Mary says, cleaning, dusting, arranging helps me too. And if we didn't need to cry, we would not have been given tear glands. That help is needed by nature before we are born. Pretty cool. You're so right. Stroke of genius, when you took the first set destroyed, that was frantic. That's okay. This is different. Do you mean when I was throwing stuff in the garage? Yeah, that was frantic. For Gretchen, it's petting fur babies, spending time in nature, Netflix, binging, exercise, brushing teeth. Any time spent taking care of yourself is self-care. That is so true. Olivia, I wish I could clean when upset. I feel paralysis when stressed. Yeah, I get that too. I totally get that. But I think my biggest realization here is that it doesn't need to look like how somebody else practices self-care. It can look different. And sometimes, Kiki said, minus chickens. Yeah, see? When you took the first set and took apart Stroke of Genius, are you talking about when I was cleaning the garage? Yeah. I turn to a great tearjerker movie when I need a good cry. Cubana Chica, that makes so much sense. Yep, rise higher. You got to block it out. They all have super fluffy butts. Who doesn't like a fluffy butt? Kestrel says making something helps a bit. Crochet and crafts, snuggle the pets. Yeah, I could see that too. Oh, my first YouTube set, was it in the garage? No, it was in here. It was in this room. And when Tony died, I just could not. I just threw stuff in there. I couldn't deal. Farrell Cheryl, good to see you. If it feels good, do it. If it makes the house look better, that's a win. Yeah. Because when I was doing it, I was thinking, should I have gone and gotten a massage? Is that better self-care? And I'm like, no, this is what it looks like for me. Hey, aloha pause for Andrea. You're right, Gretchen. A good cry can be self-care too. And it was. Listening to the playlist again was heartbreaking, but also like it was a good cry. Maya's girl, I just bought a VR headset, been doing some boxing. It's good for getting out some quick frustrations. I've actually thought about the boxing. Tony had a punching bag. I just have to install it. I think I fit his gloves too. Yeah, long drive with good music. I've got that coming up. Hey, Liz Gale. Glad you're taking care of yourself so we can party hard and happy in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think even that, spending time with people for me is self-care. I'm getting together with my sister today. Doing things like that, I find help me too. I'm going to, go see a friend. I'm going to road trip it later this week to go interview somebody in the protest community. And I'm going to take you guys along with me. I'm probably going to maybe just do a live from the car. And then, of course, there. So keep an ear out for that because that's going to be a lot of fun. Real life, wow, loving the change in space. You're doing great. Whatever you need to do, you do you, boo. Thank you, Stroke of Genius. That's true. Where have I heard that? I got to remember sometime to like what would I tell somebody? Well, and that's actually how I came to this conclusion is I thought, okay, if somebody came to me and said, I'm not sure that what I'm doing is self-care or not, I would exactly say that. You do you. Is it helping? Then, it's caring for yourself. Rise higher. My mom asked me to turn her dad's room into a completely different room. That helped her greatly. Completely new stuff in there. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Change can be really good in these ways. Now what? There was no self allowed among the children in my birth family. Fit in with the program where you go to your room. It's how I became a reader. Lots of time in my room. Me too. Me too. Fire and Ice says, I think of how I help others and then apply it to myself. Been 26 years since my husband passed. It's still hard. I get that and I feel that. The other thing I realize is there's no timeline. My Scientology cult brain, the little tiny part that still exists there, tells me I should be over it. It should be a done deal. Like there should just be this closing of a door, which makes sense because in Scientology, you have to close off those emotions so you can still be productive. There's no time for grief. There's no time for mourning. And I'm realizing that my grief and my mourning comes in waves. Sometimes I'm really happy and other times I'm devastated again. And there's no, like someone said earlier, there's no should on how you do grief. Let's see. MW, this live is self-care. I appreciate that. I know it is for me. Yep, road trips are always fun. It's going to be great. Mary says, yes, literally no one. Someone said, grief is just love persevering. Oh my gosh, I love that. Have the massage when you feel like it. It'll still be there when you want it. I really want it today after doing what I did yesterday. I mean, my back, I am sore. I need to, you know what I should do? I should make the appointment because, when I decide like, oh, today I'd like that, but you can't just walk in at the place that I have the gift card. You have to make an appointment. I should do that. Robin Miners, grief is not linear. That is so true. Gosh, am I finding that out? Liz Gale says, I'll always take a professional massage though. Yeah, girl, don't get it twisted for sure. No, I want to. I'm definitely going to do that. Mayors, I lost my dad at 19. Although it could have felt good to avoid the pain for some, I would not have been able to just do a touch assist and get over it. I still work through it every day. Exactly. And that's what I'm realizing about having left Scientology, leaving a cult and not having to have that mentality that you should be over it. There's more important things to do. It doesn't need to be that way. It shouldn't be that way. I don't see loss as something you get over. You just, I don't know how to explain it. Like you just move. I mean, and I'm only a couple months in, so what the hell do I know? But I can only compare to when I lost my mom. Is more and more when I would think of her, I would smile or laugh more. Um, you cry. I would like cry a lot when I thought of her, and that got less and less. And I kind of expect this to be the same way. Arkansas Flamingo says you will never be over it. Tony was and is too special. Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, Sandy McKenna, greetings from a red light. Kim Collins says, whatever helps you, helps you. There's no right way to grieve. I am feeling that. Jenny says, my thoughts on grief is that the passage of time dulls the hurt, but it doesn't erase it. Yes, God, that's true. Hey, Liz Ferris, I will also take some self-care time. True, you too. And Liz, I would love to hear what you do for self-care. Truly, I'd like to know. If you're still here in the chat, pop it in there. Rise higher, take a shower, loosen up the muscles, and take magnesium. Call who knows, they might have an opening. Oh, you know what? That's true, actually. That's a good idea. Stroke of Genius, has your grief with your dad hit? I know it was hard because Tony was so sick. Yes. And that too comes and goes, but it is greatly overshadowed by losing Tony. But both of them at the same time was, a lot. Well, within 10 weeks, my dad died and Tony died 10 weeks later. So, still working through that one. Oh, rice hire, that's a good idea. I've had some odd things happen with lights a lot in the house. Um, which is funny because Tony was always messing with the lights. We both really got into lighting, and I've got like these smart lights and how you can change the colors and all that. So Liz Fair says, I've been writing what happened to me in my childhood and making a good read. I love that, Liz. And I'm going to be doing some writing too because I keep threatening to work on my book. I'm already a week behind a target I had set for myself and realized that, you know what, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But I do want to work on it, especially now, because I think it's going to be really therapeutic. I think it really is. Oh, Rice Hire, thank you. I appreciate that. It's all, it's all being worked through. And I do have those times when, on the daily, I don't think there's been a day that I haven't cried for months. God, I'm just realizing that now. I look forward to when I get to where there's just one day when I don't cry. But there's no timeline on that. It could happen next week. It could happen in 5 years. I'm really working. I feel like my self-care is being okay with wherever I am, with however I'm feeling. Jersey Jan, I agree with you. Liz Ferris, I see another book in the future. I can edit proof it for you if you want to publish. Love that. Liz, you should write a book, Liz Ferris. Liz Gale's working on another book. Watch sad movies and cry, cry, cry. It helps, says Rice Hire. That's the interesting thing is I don't like sad movies. Maybe because I'm crying so much without it. But I know what you're saying. For me, music does that. Playing music and listen, because it's what we did. Tony and I spent so much time listening to music and sharing music with each other. Castro, I still cry every day and I have no idea when that will cease. Well, maybe that's just part of it then. Because again, crying's not a bad thing. That's the thing. No, Stroke of Genius, don't stop mentioning my dad. Don't. No, it's totally fine. It's part of it. It's part of the whole thing. It is definitely I have no comparison to losing the two most significant men in my life almost at the same time. Is interesting, to say the least. Take your time. Don't rush the book. It will come eventually, and I'll be the first in line. Thank you, Gibbons Blue. I really want to work on it. That's part of why I was cleaning up this room, because I think maybe, well, we'll see. I got to figure it out. Sandy says you just have to roll with it. That is so true, and you know, Sandy. Mary says, I think it's part of it. Yeah. Oh, hey, it's really me from Ireland. How exciting. The emotions are just too strong to deny. The tears, I miss her so much every second of every day. I get that, Kestrel. And that really speaks to the love that you felt. Jenny, the grief and tears are for ourselves. It's how much we miss those that have passed. So true. Rona, you'll learn to ride the waves soon. That's so true. And in many ways, well, not in many ways, I keep falling back on how grateful I am that, having that time with Tony and it being so much part of my time with him. My 11 years with Tony was such a key part of my healing from growing up in a cult and from, escaping Scientology. He was just a core piece of that. Oh, Cubana Chica, that's cute. That's really cute. Somebody said that we cry every time we notice they're in the room. Rice Hire, I heard something on a podcast, I think it was the other day, that said that those feelings of when that grief wells up, when it just hits us, especially out of the blue, that's the person we lost. But because, how did it explain it? I'm going to do a horrible job at explaining this. Hey, Fluffer Squirrel. How did I explain it? But it's like basically that person showing up and we perceive it as grief and sadness. But if you open yourself up, that it's their way of trying to communicate. I don't know. It's something I read. I'm going to try it out. Fluffer Squirrel, I find self-care is easier when scheduled into a routine. There's a book called Atomic Habits that I found really helpful. Love that book. I should read it again if I still have my copy. I think I might have lent it out. You're right. Yeah, it is about habits and routine. I need to start a habit and routine in writing my book. I've seen the signs too, sometimes in dreams, sometimes not. I hardly remember my dreams, and when I do, I'm working. How weird is that? Like I wake up and I'm working, I'm planning something out, or, something for YouTube or something else I'm working on. Like I wake up and I'm already working on it. So I think, do I dream about work? I think I might. Or I just don't remember my other dreams. Panda, self-care is challenging for me too. If I feel like I don't deserve it yet. Well, you do, because I think it's something that we all, I don't even know if deserve is the right word so much as we need it. It's a need, because if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we do anything really, or be as effective as we want to be, or show up for other people in a way that, is truly us if we can't take care of ourselves. It's something too that Tony was a big influence on me with. Gretchen only, my dad passed in November, went to a medium, and she told me coincidences are not coincidences. I've noticed his in many different ways with me in the months since he died. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I think so too. I told you guys, might have caught my live. I talked about this big white owl that flew over our car in Hawaii that scared the hell out of me. And it's rare to see those white owls. In fact, that's the first time I ever saw one. Kestrel, I dream in theme parks and work. Legacy of growing up in Southern California with Disney and Knott's Berry Farm. That's funny. Buckled up, Buttercup. 8 months without my husband. Am learning to schedule a little self-care each week. Learning what self-care is to me. Everything's new. Ways of grief are farther apart now. Less intense. Thank goodness. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I look forward to that. Have you ever had a not-a-body experience? You might be able to see them that way. Google OB alarm method. All right, I will Google that. I love these conversations. It helps me. I have lost 5 loved ones in a short time. Silva, that's insane. That's so hard. That's so hard, and I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Mama Opal, for the surprise. Hit the like. You can tap the screen twice if you're on a phone. I learned that recently, and I'm still excited about it. Hey, Leo. Good to see you here. So I think I'm figuring it out, and with your guys' help too, and doing a little bit of traveling. I want to go see other content creators and people who are protesting Scientology and share more of their stories in their own environments. Just have some casual conversations that we're just going to be, doing a live stream, not do it in a studio or anything like that. Stroke of Genius, I worked through my grief after my stroke, 8 months after I began embracing my new life. Wow. That's great. Hey, Dr. MLS. Same. Oh, good, Jersey Jen. I'm glad it worked because in my head I was like, wait, is it twice? Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for doing that, you guys, hitting the like button. I appreciate it. So this week, like I said, it's gonna be my first. It's gonna be my first solo road trip, and I'm bringing you guys with me. And then I'll share more about it probably when I'm on my way. I mean, really, I don't know, there's no reason I can't really say now, but just, let's just wait a little bit. Purple, oops, Purple Groovy. Others have been taken. This we know, but Tony was yours and you loved him so. That's so true. Rise higher. I wish I could see you someday, but I don't want to be on video. Well, if you're in an area where I'm headed, then by all means, you don't have to be on video. Yeah, you don't have to be. Literally no one. It took me over a year before I returned to a normal existence after losing my wife. There are no rules. Everyone's journey is different. I get that. It seems like that whole 1 year is kind of important that you go through so many things for the first time. And I've been noticing that when I have to do something for the first time since my Tony died, that's the hardest. When I go to do it the second time, it's easier. I mean, everything. I went to the post office for the first time. I cried there, getting dog food, all these things. And I've done so many of them now. And there's so much more to come. And I've just decided I'm not going to dread it. I'm going to do my best to just be open about it. And, if I go somewhere and I find it makes me cry, then I cry. That's just what it's going to be. Because that's my self-care, is allowing myself to experience grief. Which, it's funny that this makes me cry, just the thought of it. Like, we were never allowed to. When you're on post or you're in the Sea Organization, there's no time, there's no room for it. TK, don't rule out South Africa because I know people there. I honestly wouldn't rule it out. I mean, why not? I need to renew my passport. I need to do that. Hey, Purple Groovy, good for you. Day 19 on being cigarette free. That's awesome. Rise higher. I cried every time I walked into the grocery store, passing things I didn't need to buy anymore. Yep, I've done that. I try to use Instacart as much as possible, in large part for that reason. But I did go to the grocery store 2 times, and the first time I cried, well, the second time I was with my daughter, so it was easier. Yep, Remarch, you are totally right. I agree with you. I think it does show that the love that we felt for the person. Getting through the anniversaries is hard for the first time. It takes at least a year to get through them all. I hear that. The holidays, everything, the first time for everything. Gail, crying is not a sign of weakness. It is human. That is so true. And I think that's something, that I've come to embrace. If you would have told me a year ago even that I would be on YouTube sharing these things and just so openly crying when I cry, I would have told you were nuts. But I think it's all part of it. Sharing my Scientology story and sharing the others. It's gonna involve some good crying. Hey, Kazri, good to see you. Good to see you feeling and expressing whatever emotions come up for you. Yes, that's what I'm realizing. That's my self-care. What am I feeling? That's where I'm at. And the same goes with being happy. If I feel happy in the moment, it's okay to feel happy. It doesn't mean that I didn't love my dad or I didn't love Tony. The times when I'm excited and happy, I swear I can just feel him being excited for me, which he always was. He was my biggest cheerleader. Vanessa, I was in a really dark place for years after my mom died. After leaving the SO, so the Sea Org, what helped me short term before eventually finding real solutions was tapping your body is your temple. Taping your body is your temple on my door. Oh, yeah. No, I get that. I can see that. TK, still recovering from the passing of both my parents in the last 3 years. It set me free from Scientology, but the loss is real. That is huge. That is huge. And I'm so sorry for your loss, but I'm so happy that it set you free from Scientology. Hey, Eric Rader. Do you. That's right. That's right. Yep, happy is good. And, Vanessa, you're right. Mantras are very helpful that way. Mayor's girl, I had a breakdown when I reached the age my dad was when he died. I felt like I wouldn't make it past. Now I'm 51, so he was 44. I feel like I'm living life for the both of us, trying to enjoy it like he did. Yes, I feel that so much. Tony and I talked so much about the things that I would go do, that I would be able to do, that he wanted me to do, that he wanted for me, and things that I wanted for myself. And I remind myself regularly that, hey, he wanted this for me too, and I know that he's going to be watching, and I know he's going to be cheering me on. Ooh, batting cages. It really helps get extra energy out, leaves you relaxed. Maybe. I was also thinking about one of these smash rooms where you go and you destroy a bunch of stuff. That's actually what I'm thinking of. I didn't bring Kleenex in here. Okay, can you guys hold for a sec? I gotta go grab a tissue. Okay, did everybody be good? Kestrel, I hear you about caring for your mom the last years, complicated the grief of losing her, but you're trying. Yeah, definitely. And it's great that you were able to be there for your mom. I know how hard that can be. I feel like when we're being caretakers, at least for me, I was where I wanted to be. At least if I didn't have you know what I'm saying? I would have rather him not been sick, but I wouldn't have been anywhere else but there with him and caring for him because he would have done the same thing for me. Oh, yeah, Cheryl Moss, did your daughter have the baby? Soon? All right, can't wait to hear. The baby's a girl? Cool. All right. Thank you, Fluffer Squirrel. Arkansas Flamingo, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey. It's a gift to me. I appreciate that. Elron Hub called. Hey, good to see you. I'm telling you guys, I geek out so bad over people who live stream and protest Scientology. Even all of you in the chat. I have met people in the chat when I was in Clearwater or in Chicago, and I get so excited. I completely fangirl. Elron Hub Cult, I'm so excited about what you guys are doing in Denmark with protesting Scientology, exposing the abuses in the Sea Org, and getting those stories out, getting those voices elevated. It's a beautiful thing. Stroke of Genius, do you feel like we're friends? Good, because I do. I wouldn't be on here talking to you guys if I didn't think that. Yep, Kim is Blue. I'm going to be in Coldwater next month. Later in the month, I'm going to go celebrate my birthday, and Aaron's birthday is in September as well. And then I've got some people I want to talk to. Kestrel, I totally get that. TK, it was very hard taking care of both of them being a degraded being. I'm just glad I got both of them out in their 80s before they passed. That is fantastic. My mom lived for 2 years after we left Scientology, so I had 2 years outside of the cult. Bryce, how's your sister and dog? Fine. In fact, my sister's on her way here now. We're going to go grab a late lunch because it's almost 2 here in Minnesota. Dr. MLS, I need a crocheted body thing for my hat when I see you. Yes, you got to talk to Feral Cheryl. She's got the hookup. I want to learn how to crochet just to make those body Thetan dolls, honestly. I don't know. It looks like it's hard. It does. But I love that. I love that Cheryl does that. I would guess, I don't know if you're still here, Cheryl, but that's not part of her healing as well. Doing something creativity, that feels good too. I've always liked doing puzzles, but for some reason, I tried to do one recently and I just wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I need something new for a hobby like that. Kestrel says, my mom was the best mom in the world for my entire life. She was my cheerleader and best friend. She was a spitfire. That is so awesome. Kestrel, I'd love to see your version of a body thing doll. Truly, I would. Absolutely. Let's see it. Do it. Yeah, I'm going to find something, though. It's just there's not a lot of time because so many things interest me. I've been out of Scientology for 14 years, and it's just, there's so much to learn about that I didn't get to learn growing up, or I didn't get to experience or explore while being a cult. And that's the mentality. That's the mentality that I think I'm still fighting. L1 Hub Cult, Natalie, I love what you do so much. You're one of my favorites. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to figure it out and figure out what self-care looks like for me. And it definitely involves cleaning and organizing and rearranging. I think just moving, you know, I think I also want to, oh my God, I can't believe these words are actually about to come out of my mouth. I almost can't even say it out loud. I think I want to start going, I think I want to start going to the gym. I'm so not a workout person, but I mean, just for the health. I mean, of course, obviously, I've been thinking a lot more about my own health. Crocheting's not that hard, and if you get past the first stitches, it's easier. Okay, maybe. I know, Mama Opal, I know. Well, here in Minnesota, during the wintertime, you know, I don't like walking when it's freezing, but I do like walking. So I thought, well, you know, and I feel like I need to add more strength training into my life. Yeah, that article that came out of the Denmark paper was amazing. I covered it on the recap this morning. So excited about it. And the book that's coming out. A daily dose of ice cream, Kestrel. You got to do what you got to do. Oh, word searches, Sarah. That's a good idea. Pixel art. I got to check that out. Cubana Chica, crocheting. All right. Rise higher. I'll go back and read the quote about the baby monitor. Well, Eric says he's going with embroidery because crocheting is way too hard. That's a good idea, Fluffer Squirrel. Ease myself in. Then it's social and give you solid time, stay in place. You know what I really want to do if I can find a group, and I think there's one at a seniors do it around here. Is I want to play mahjong. I've always wanted to learn. I even have a set. I want to do that, but you know, I need some people for that. Jersey Jen, oh my God, the look on your face when you said the word gym. The gym is a great way to stress relief. I agree. It's just never been, I like to pay for a gym more than I like to go to one. And I want to change that. I would like working out to be part of my self-care. Kim Blue highly recommends yoga. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, Fluffer Squirrel, you play mahjong? Like not the online one, but with the actual tiles? Oh, I'm so dying to find friends to play that with. Kestrel, that's great that you still have those blankets. Stroke of genius, LOL, gyms call that profit. Yeah, totally. It's, you know, I know the owner of the place where I go to, and I feel like I like being able to support him. Pickleball, Mama Opal, that's a good idea. I wonder if I've never played pickleball. Yep, Rise Higher, mahjong apps on the phone are fun, but I want to learn the in-person. Horseback riding is very therapeutic. And Kestrel, I have a friend who has a horse. He's invited me to do stuff he plays polo. But yeah, I should try that too. Dominic and Miles play, they could teach you. That's right, but Miles is going back to college. But Dominic will be around. I should get him to show me. In fact, I had a pickleball racket and I think I gave it to Miles because I wasn't playing. Tony and I always wanted to play, but we just weren't able to. But I forgot about that. That's right. I should play pickleball. All right. Well, I'm getting massively distracted now. Now I want to go play pickleball. I do need to try. There's people around here who do. I should try to connect with them and do that because I think that it would be good. Look at local newspapers that might have mahjong, also meetups. Yep. Ooh, the smell of a barn. I hear you there. Tim, doing a little OT 420. I am all for that as well. Definitely helps. Needlework, not everyone's bag. I like puzzles too. Just being in nature, whatever feels good. Yeah, Mary, I like that. You're right. You have so many beautiful lakes up there in Minnesota. Vanessa, you're so right. We do. I live right next to two. You could get back in. Natalie's body thing. You could get back into that strip pole dancing now that you're not a Scientologist. Okay, it was strip fitness. Let's be clear about that. Not strip pole dancing, but strip fitness, which was pretty much strip pole dancing. Except we didn't take off our clothes. It was exercise. You're right about that. I should see if that place still exists. How many people play Mahjong in a live game? Yeah, if everybody, I don't know if you could do that the way that it's played. Oh, Mayor's Girl, I am like nearby a beautiful trail. I do want to hit the trail because I'm realizing walking a dog is not taking a walk because they want to sniff and do all this stuff I ain't got time for. And I just want to walk. So I think I need to start doing my own walks. Stand-up paddleboard would be great meditative way to explore those lakes. It's true, but then I worry about falling off and the fish touching me. I know. What are the odds? But yeah, but that is a good idea. I have a friend who goes stand-up paddleboarding often. Natalie's body thing. I feel like you really are my body thing because you just get me. Oh, I'm getting so hungry. I hope Lana gets here soon. Like I said, we're going to go to lunch. Rise higher. Walking alone and noticing nature is so calming. Truly. I want to, you know my favorite time to walk? Fall. Around, especially around here, around Minnesota. Well, the glare on my glasses from this window is crazy, but I'm using window light because I'm not in my office. Come to Portland. We'll take a walk through Forest Park. I do want to come to Portland. Clean and cry with Natalie. Happy healing train. Oh gosh. I should do that. Walking the dog can be exercise. I used to have 2 big dogs and walk them 8 miles a day. Dang, Jersey Jan. That's a lot. That is a lot. Follow the dog first and let the dog follow you. Well, yeah. On the way out, I try to let him sniff. Then I try to make him stay with me on the way back. Oh, that's right. Rise higher. You would totally go places with you and Lana and play Mahjong. Yep. Oh, I know. I should find out if my friends who are nearby who maybe want to learn how to play Mahjong and we just started ourselves. Ooh, I know of a couple people that might do it. Because we can learn together. I lost a lot of weight. You did, Jersey Jan? Yeah, walking 8 miles a day. I'll walk a mile with Odin and feel like I deserve a medal. Because that seems far. But I totally get that. Fluffer Squirrel, I just had a quick Google and apparently there is bungee fitness in Minnesota. Stop! Bungee fitness? Ooh. Oh, I want to see that. Hey, Sarah, thank you. Yeah, I do laugh and I cry and I laugh and I cry. But thank you. No, it's good to do a video and, not be a total wreck. Yeah, Gretchen, Minnesota was incredible this last summer. Truly it was. Very green. We had so much rain. So much rain. Rise higher. There are board game groups all over. That's true. That's true. Have a great day, Arkansas Flamingo. Flouncy, bouncy, fun. I'd be in my Tigaroo era. Fluffer Squirrel, that's funny. I'm gonna have to check that out. I also want to check out that thing where you get to break stuff. All right, well, that's all I got, guys. I think my sister's gonna be here in just a couple minutes and we can go eat. I'm starving to be able to go do that. Oh, adult coloring books. Yes, John. I forgot about that. I have some. Dang it, I need to do that. I forget. That is what I used to do. I used to do the gel pens and the coloring book. Oh my God. Thank you for the reminder. Totally forgot. My God, Sandy. Yes. Let's play Mahjong. Do you have a set? Sandy, you got to get a set. Get a set and let's do it. I think we need 4. I think you can play it with 3, but 4. I bet Jenna would get into it too. Sandy, you got to get a set if you don't already have one. Because I don't think, I got mine, but, I'd have to pack it. And I don't know if it'll fit in my suitcase. Oh my gosh, Sarah, it's so hot in Texas. Circus exercise class, I feel like I would fit right in. Justice, I get that. I totally get that. I just don't want to clean it up. That's why I'm thinking of going one of those places and doing that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I don't know if you know how much this means to me. Um, it means a ton. It means a ton. So I'm going to be having fun with my sister later today. I'm going to play hooky a little bit, even though, part of my brain's like, you have so much work to do. Nope, playing hooky. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be doing the recap tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. And yeah, and I want to give a special thank you too to the members. I appreciate you so much. People, when you become a member of the channel, there's some extra emojis and stuff that you get. I try to respond. Well, I try to respond to everybody, but that's impossible. So I try to make sure I can respond to the members as much as possible as well. And eventually, I'm going to steal. Reese said that Sandy McKenna gave her the idea to do the Zoom that she does with a couple membership tiers. I thought that would be fun because it'd be so neat to see your faces. So I'm going to be looking at that too. All right. Well, I will see you guys later. Again, thank you. Get out there and have that cult-free day.